Welcome to Dingleberries and Ashtrays. I'm Dingleberry and this is Ashtrays, and we're talking about butts.
No, we already decided. Fart knocker and the testicle.
Right, fine, it's Fart Knocker and the Testicle. I just thought Dingleberry and the Ashtrays would be a fun name.
You can be Dingleberry, I can be Fart knocker.
But then who's the Testicle?
Fart knocker and the Dingleberry.
I'd rather be the Testicle than the Dingleberry. I don't want to be a Dingleberry.
All right.
Even though I said that my name was Dingleberry and you were Ashtrays.
We'll keep shooting these ideas around and figure out the name.
I mean, we've already decided it's that Burn Hazard podcast.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah, this is what it is.
I mean, name pending, maybe. I didn't register as a trademark.
Yeah, it's not like we really need to register a trade. Well, I guess maybe we should.
That's your business now. That's on you.
Oh, that's on me?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm officially putting you in charge of registering testicle fart knocker or whatever
Fart knocker and the testicle.
Whatever we're calling ourselves.
The burn testicle fart knock.
The burnt testicle fart knocker.
The burnt testicle fart hazard.
That's the name. We finally found it.
Oh, the burnt testicle fart knock hazard.
Yes.
Can I just say how envious I am of the birds that you get at your bird feeder?
I think you said that last time, yes.
Did I say that last time?
Yes.
I don't remember.
You said you got a cardinal, though.
I got a cardinal, yeah. Did I talk about the sparrows last time?
You get a large amount of sparrows.
Well, did I talk about them eating all of the bird seed and the creative ways that sparrows have to open sunflower seeds?
I see what you're doing. Get people addicted to the podcast with a riveting hook.
Yeah, sunflower seeds.
Tell me about your sparrows.
I put a bird feeder outside of my apartment. And originally, I was trying to attract mourning doves. I put a bird feeder I'm on the second floor, and I put a bird feeder on the patio to attract mourning doves. And I love mourning doves. They're great.
They're actually pretty chill. Like, they're the only bird that, when they see me walking around in my house, they just sit there and stare at me. They don't fly away.
It might be because mourning doves have the prey reflex, which is they just try not to move and hope that you don't see them.
Oh, maybe.
It might be that. Anyway.
Even still, the cardinals and the blue jays and the sparrows, they all panic and flee immediately. The dove's like, yo, what up? And maybe internally is like, but he seems chill to me.
Seems pretty chill. Anyway, they're real stupid and they can't figure out where the food is.
Doves.
The mourning doves, yeah. So I don't really get that many.
Like, how did I not figure that out? You just have a tray, basically.
I don't know, but, well, I think actually the main problem is the sparrows eat almost everything before the mourning doves can get to it.
Maybe it's because the sparrows are lighter, because the mourning doves are pretty beefy.
Did you know when mourning doves fly away, they make that noise?
Yes.
That's their wings doing that. They don't actually vocalize that noise.
Okay.
Yeah, I thought that was really weird when I learned that.
Nice non sequitur, I guess.
Yeah, just a weird non sequitur. Anyway, so
but your bird feeder is kind of a little flimsy. It looks like. So if a big fat bird landed on it, it might have trouble staying.
Oh, it's very supportive. My bird feeder actually is it's wire. It's wire it's like braided wire, but it's coated in like a plastic to keep the braided wire from hurting the bird's feet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it's a very sturdy platform feeder. Anyway, so I put this platform feeder out. As it turns out, mourning doves like to eat on the ground. Not on a platform feeder as much.
That's true.
So the sparrows kept eating everything. And I got sick of the sparrows eating everything.
Zach's trying to get rid of his sparrows, trying to reenact Mao's 4 pests policy.
No, I'm not going that far. Yeah, I'm not going to go outside banging pots and pans together every single time the sparrows come by so that they can't find a place to land and then they die of exhaustion.
And then the pests overrun your crops and you have massive starvation.
Because as it turns out, sparrows are a very important part of the ecosystem.
History lesson.
Yeah. Anyway. So I got the platform feeder and I'm looking up online, what kind of foods do sparrows not like? Well, sparrows don't like suet.
Suet cakes.
Yeah, they don't like suet cakes. It's like, all right, cool, I'll get that. So I bought a suet feeder. The birds can only access from the bottom because it's like, 1, they don't like suet, and 2, they have a hard time hovering and like hanging on to things with their talons and eating upside down.
Okay.
So if you get those things, sparrows won't eat it. Mm-hmm. All right. So I put that out there, go out there the next day, and the sparrows are hovering like hummingbirds, just going, beating their wings like crazy and pecking at the suet.
Yeah, I could have told you that wasn't right.
And they're hanging upside down and just going peck, 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 and then they fall off and fly back up there and hang upside down and peck, 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 peck. I'm like, okay, so the suet feeder doesn't work.
Oh, yeah, in my experience, sparrows love the suet.
They won't like suet with seeds in it.
Okay.
They will eat that, but they don't really like plain suet.
I don't know, all right.
So eventually I settle on white striped sunflower seeds, which are basically just the ones that you would eat.
Yeah.
but they come in a really big bag and there's like sticks and shit in there. So they don't really, it's for birds. You're not supposed to eat it.
Okay, yeah.
I did eat one.
You ate a sunflower seed?
For a bird, yeah.
Just to make sure it tasted like a sunflower seed?
It tasted like an unsalted sunflower seed, so yeah.
Okay.
It wasn't great.
I've never eaten sunflower seeds. Do you, eat the shell, too?
You can eat the shell, but I usually just pop a bunch of them in my mouth and then split the shell with my teeth and spit the shell out.
Yes, it's kind of gross, honestly.
They're kind of a pain in the ass. I like sunflower seeds better when they're pre-shelled.
It's like peanuts being given to you, but they've all got their shell on, so you gotta crack each one individually.
You can eat peanut shells. I do that a lot.
You can if you want to.
Yeah, you can just eat the whole peanut shell. It's a lot of fiber.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, helps keep you regular. I don't actually, I'm not a doctor. Don't take my advice. Do not eat whole peanuts.
Don't take his diet advice either. He puts mayonnaise on weird things.
Like French fries.
And cottage cheese. Ugh.
I don't put mayonnaise on cottage cheese.
You do weird things, though.
I put applesauce and cottage cheese together, not mayonnaise on cottage cheese.
Yeah, you do weired things.
Even
by my standards.
Well, your standards of a normal diet is chicken breast, and that's it.
Well, I guess I should have said even by normal people's
there
standards.
You go. Yeah. Anyway, so I was reading online, and it's like, oh yeah, sparrows don't like sunflower seeds because they're too difficult to get with their little beaks.
Okay.
So if you put whole white striped sunflower seeds, not black oil sunflower seeds, because those are too small and they can eat those. So white striped sunflower seeds. So I buy a big old bag of white striped sunflower seeds. I put those out there. I leave. I come back 5 minutes later. The sparrows are bathing in the sunflower seeds, just fluffing their wings and throwing seeds everywhere. I look. There's one sparrow who is just going and clamping his beak down on a sunflower seed so hard, like a tiny hydraulic press, until the seed splits open and he gets the inside of it. There's another one just bonking the seed against the side of the bird feeder until it breaks. And I'm just like, you little bastards! You will eat anything, won't you?
Oh, sparrows.
The bird, I filled it up. I filled it to capacity.
Mm-hmm.
It was empty the next morning.
Because all the seeds are getting knocked on the ground?
Because the seeds are getting knocked on the ground and they're eating all of them. Mm-hmm. Or the sparrows are just taking the sunflower seeds and flying off with them and then coming back and grabbing more and flying off with them again.
It could be, but that's weird, but all right.
It's nuts. All I get are sparrows. I wish I got other birds. I can hear blue jays out there.
Oh, do they have a distinct call you can hear?
Yeah, blue jay's got a very distinct call. I can't remember how to do it because I'm terrible at imitating birds. But yeah, they have a very distinct call.
Blue jay caw, blue jay caw.
Caw, 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 I've got her purse.
Okay.
It's a Family Guy reference.
Let's go, Rigby.
You just pissed me off. I can't do Mordecai's voice. I can't imitate J.G. Quintel's voice. Mm. You sent me a picture of a freaking, like, a red-headed woodpecker.
Yeah.
Like a full-size woodpecker. I've had a woodpecker a couple times at my bird feeder. There was one morning that he woke me up because he was pecking the side of my brick building.
Yeah.
He's just going, tuk, 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 tuk.
It's so weird, yeah. The fact that it's a brick building is additionally weird, but I get weird knocking noises every once in a while, and I always thought maybe something's running around down my walls or something, but I finally looked outside one day, and I found it. It was a woodpecker pecking at my windowsill.
Yeah, they're probing around trying to figure out where bugs might be.
Yeah.
They don't exclusively peck, like, wood. Trees.
Yeah.
Yeah, they probe around, try to find out where bugs are, because they love them.
This little guy hops from, I guess, what would you even call it? Rib to rib of my fence?
Yeah, like post.
Yeah, post to post. He just hops up there, pecks a little bit, and then just hops over, whoop, and pecks on that one.
Yep.
Yeah, I got woodpeckers.
Yeah, I guess they have, like, really sensitive hearing or something, or they can feel the vibrations of the wood to tell if it's hollow.
Something like that, I don't know.
For bugs. But yeah, I've had a woodpecker a couple times. I've had a couple titmice show up.
Titmice?
Titmouse.
Oh, that's a bird, yeah.
Yeah, the titmouse is a type of bird. Mm-hmm. There's
I just don't know if I've heard titmouse pluralized before.
Oh yeah, I guess would it be
it sounded a little weird. Maybe it's titmice, maybe
it is. Maybe it's titmouse. I don't know.
Titmouses?
Titmousin? Titmoose. Yo, welcome back to Fart Knocker and the Titmoose. So yeah, I'm kind of jealous of the birds that you get because you get a wide variety. I have had woodpeckers show up, but they're smaller woodpeckers.
Well, I haven't had any titmoose yet. Or maybe I have. I don't know. I get so many wide varieties of birds.
Yeah, I know. Well, rub it in some more, why don't you?
My glorious, luxurious, castle-like bird feeder.
Yeah, I'm a little disappointed. I don't know. Maybe it's because I'm not feeding them regularly enough, so the sparrows are getting all hungros.
Maybe.
So, as you know, I got a new car about a year ago. Still a big fan of it. Love this car. It's great.
Good car.
For those who don't know, it's a Hyundai Kona. I actually managed to get it before all the craziness with like microchips and stuff, where like they're impossible to get.
Before there was the huge shortage on everything.
The shortages on literally everything. So I actually managed to get that, and one of the things that I really like about it, because I have always owned older cars.
Yeah.
Basically, I have always owned cars that are at least 10 years old.
I think we always bought used vehicles.
Yeah, we always bought used vehicles. So the cars I owned were always 80s, 90s, or early 2000s cars. And one of the things I like about this specific year model Kona I have is that, yes, it has like a little touchscreen display, but like the climate control is all just still knobs.
You like the tactile feel of being...
I like the tactile feel of that, because I looked at a Kona from its... we're recording this in 2021.
Many, many years ago, yes.
We're recording this in 2021. I looked at a 2022, so a current year Hyundai Kona, and they changed the...
dashboard?
They changed the thing for the climate control to, like... Now it's all, like, smart sensors, and it shows, like, the temperature on things. And I like it better when it's a brand new car, but it reminds me of a early 2000s car.
There are different options. I'm sure you could, if you really wanted that tactile feel of that option, you could probably ask for it.
You'd probably have to buy, like, the fleet vehicle version, which I don't even think they make a fleet vehicle version of the Kona. Anyway.
You're bringing this up because you're looking to upgrade?
No.
This vehicle's 2 years old at this point. Gross.
Oh, God, no. God, if I ever turn into that person, just fucking shoot me. No. I fully intend on keeping this car for at least 10 years. I still like the features in older cars. I like the features in this new car.
I like features of older cars, like cassette players and non-powered windows.
Yeah, kinda, yeah. I like that this car has things that still remind me of like an early 2000s car. Like the fact that the knobs for climate control are all still little individual knobs. I like that it's got a volume knob on there and not just up and down arrows on a touchscreen.
Are you bringing this up because you're disappointed that everything is going digital and more technically modern?
I'm not disappointed. I think that's a good improvement, but it's like, I guess the only reason I'm bringing this up is like the changes they've made to cars in even just like the last 5 years is kind of bonkers to me.
Yeah.
It's a lot of insane stuff. Also, something else I hadn't really thought about, tangentially related. Auto manufacturers are not allowed to make cars without a backup camera.
Okay.
They're all required to have it.
I didn't know that, but okay, makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, having a backup camera is amazing.
It's a very useful thing.
It's incredibly useful.
Just think, like 50 years ago, the best camera you had was a disposable Kodak.
Click.
Now you got one in the butt of your car.
Yeah. Also, my car has, you know the meme of like the Galaxy Brain meme?
Yeah.
Where it's like, it starts out with like a little tiny brain and then it gets more powerful and more for every like option.
I know what a meme is, yes.
Yes. Blind spot monitoring is tiniest brain. Blind spot radar monitoring system, bigger brain. Radome assembly, Galaxy Brain.
I feel like in the future, we're gonna have like grandparents going into their kids' rooms. Hey son, let me tell you about this meme I saw. And they're gonna roll their eyes. Dad, please! Dad, I'm trying to cyber sex with my friends!
I'm trying to have a cyber orgy with my friends! Leave me alone, Dad! Now, back in my day, we called it cyber sex, and then it was just text! Dad, get the fuck out of my room!
And you didn't have to buy several different appendages to attach to your computer! You just did it yourself!
Did it manually! Okay, I'm gonna have to list them off because I can't remember. I've had many cars.
Alright, count them off and tell me how many you had.
Buick, Ford Bronco 2, Honda Accord, Ford Focus, BMW, Jeep Wrangler, Subaru Impreza, Ford Escort, Volvo C30, Ford Escort, Toyota Camry, Mazda 3, Mazda Protege, Subaru Impreza, and then Hyundai Kona. So it's 11?
That's like a new vehicle every 2 years.
Yeah, basically.
Why? Why do you have so many different vehicles in your history?
So I'll try to not go through so many of them, but the first two Ford Broncos I had. So the Buick I had was like a family car, so it technically wasn't my car.
Wait, am I asking an interesting question or not?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's an interesting question. The Buick I had was like a family car, so it wasn't really my car, but it was. The Ford Bronco I had, the first one, basically quit working completely, so I got a second one. And then the Honda I got while I was in the military.
Mm-hmm.
And that exploded very quickly. That like completely stopped working.
It imploded, didn't actually physically explode.
Yeah, it just quit working.
Okay.
Basically.
Yeah.
I had to fix so many different. That was a car. I bought that car from what's called the Lemon Lot on the base,
Oh, jeez.
and it's basically where any soldier can go put their car there, as long as it's not there for too long. You can leave your car there and then put like a for sale sign on it, and people can call you and be like, yo, I want to buy this car. Anyway, so I bought it from the Lemon Lot. The first week I had it, someone slashed my tires.
Oh, no.
And I hadn't been at Fort Polk long enough for people to be really mad at me. Yet. I'm pretty sure what happened is the guy I bought it from, his girlfriend or wife or whatever, didn't know he sold it, saw it parked at the barracks overnight, and went, that fucker is cheating on me, and slashed my tires.
How does it even work? Doesn't the tire explode when you pop it? Doesn't it do a lot of damage?
If you cut the sidewall with a knife, it'll basically leak out, and there's no way to fix that. So you can do it in such a way that it won't just go bah and explode and hurt you.
Okay, so it's like they're taking a knife and stabbing it. They actually got to do like a slash kind of thing?
Yeah, you got that's why it's called like slashing your tire, because you actually put like a cut in the sidewall of the tire. And when you do that, there's no way to fix that tire. You have to buy brand new tires.
Okay.
Anyway, the Ford Focus I got from my family, basically my dad sold it to me for a very low amount. And then the BMW I got because I saw it for sale and I was like, I have to have that. And then the BMW I had for quite a while. I had that one for 5 or 6 years.
Probably the most longest lasting vehicle you had.
Yeah, and it was from 1980. Yeah, I owned a 1983 BMW 320 IS for the sport model.
By the way, you're throwing out all these car brands and models, and it all is going over my head. You might have just say car type.
It's fine. Yeah, don't worry about it.
Okay.
Like, people will be interested to know.
I'm just saying, if you're throwing out details for a vehicle and they're supposed to be implied, I won't know what they are.
Okay. When I got that BMW, the 83 BMW, I drove it from where I was living at the time all the way to Fort Polk, which was like a 15-hour drive. The BMW had no cruise control, no power steering, no power windows, no air conditioning. I drove that all the way down to Louisiana in the middle of the summer. Oh, and by the way, it was black with a black vinyl interior.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, that car got stinky.
Did you take off all your clothes? Because I know you love being nude and warm.
No, I didn't. But one of the things I figured out while I was at Fort Polk that actually worked really well is I would open the sleeve on my BDUs, so it was like hanging down really far. I basically I would uncuff the sleeve.
Oh, you'd uncuff the sleeve on your blouse.
Yeah, your jacket top or whatever. Yeah, blouse top,
It's
whatever you
called
call
a blouse.
it. Fine, it's called a blouse. I
know it sounds womanly, but it's a blouse.
It's fine. I would undo the sleeve on it, so it was just on the blouse, so it was just open. And then while I was driving, I would stick it out the window, so air would go
like a windsock,
like a windsock, so air would go into it, and then I would lean slightly forward on the seat, so my whole blouse top would go and fill up with air. So it's just like, oh yeah, that's a cooling breeze right there. It worked amazingly well.
Built-in air conditioner suits.
Yeah. That car had what we called back in the day 270 AC, which is two windows 70 miles an hour. For all you youngins that don't know what 270 AC is. Anyway, I love that BMW.
I'm sorry, I thought that's what 270 AC meant. Is there an actual 270 AC?
No, there isn't. It's just called two windows 70 miles an hour.
All right. I thought maybe it was a brand of 270 or something.
Oh, no.
All right.
Yeah, I love that BMW. She did try to kill me several times, which was fun.
It's a she.
Yeah, her name was Olga.
I like how whenever there's a vehicle, you say, oh yes, it was this model, and then when it tries to kill you, suddenly it's a woman.
Well, it had character. She had lots of character.
Homicidal tendencies counts.
She did have homicidal tendencies. Some fun stories about Olga. The hood opened backwards. So you would pop the hood. You know, normally on a car, you open the hood, and like if the car's pointing forward, it opens up like
on a hinge kind of thing.
On a hinge.
I know how most car hoods work. Yes.
The BMW hood, when you would pull the hood opening, it would go thunk and slide forward slightly.
Okay.
And then you would tip the hood forward.
Oh, that's weird.
Which was a good thing because there were a couple times that the hood came open while I was driving. But instead of it going whoonk and like flying off of my car and slamming into the windscreen, it would just go thunk and lift up a little bit.
Yes.
When I first got the car, the turn signal relay did not like left for some reason.
Okay.
Right worked just fine, but when I tried to use left on the turn signal relay, it would start ticking very quickly and then would begin to smoke and would eventually catch fire.
Which part of the smoke of the turn signal caught fire?
The relay, which was
the relay.
mounted right in the middle of the steering column below my hands.
Oh.
So the first time, well, not the first time, I had the car for about a week.
Mm-hmm.
And I went to turn left, and it starts going... I'm like, left turn signals don't make that noise. And smoke starts pouring out of the steering column. And I'm like, that is definitely not supposed to happen. So I turned it off. I pulled the relay out. It's like partially melted. Well, guess I don't have turn signals anymore. So I'd use hand signals when I would drive my car for a while.
Well, you gotta do what you gotta do.
And then eventually the turn signal relay just started working again.
Sometimes.
Don't know why. This was a 1983 BMW. Germany had figured out how to put electricity in cars, but they hadn't mastered it yet.
Okay.
So after that happened, then the stereo sometimes would, the stereo was a cassette deck. So I just bought one of those things that you put a cassette tape in there and then it plugs into an MP3 player.
Yes.
Yeah. So sometimes the speakers would stop working, so I just had to press the tape reverse button over and over again until the speakers popped and then they started working again.
Okay.
I mentioned she tried to kill me.
Mm-hmm.
At one point I was driving, she was a rear-wheel drive car. One of the things that you might not know about rear-wheel drive cars is that they are very tail happy. The back likes to try to slide, especially when it's a low traction surface, like when it's been raining.
Mm-hmm.
Also, the throttle on Olga was a cable controlled throttle. It wasn't like modern cars are all fly-by-wire. They're all basically just like sensors. Like a little electronic sensor. So you push down the gas pedal, and it's like a mouse click button. Or like a PlayStation controller, basically.
Whatever.
Older cars, they used, like, the cables that you would find on a bicycle to shift gears. They use, like, a cable goes down through the firewall into the engine.
All right.
So, it was raining one day. I was trying to make a left-hand turn, and I pushed the gas to go through the left-hand turn, and the cable went very, very tight, and Olga decided full throttle. So Olga went full throttle in the middle of this left-hand turn, and I just proceeded to do a donut in this intersection for about 10 seconds.
What?
Until... And I'm like, I have my foot off the gas. I'm pushing on the brake, trying to figure out why the fuck the car is doing this. And it's just going, wait, just in the middle of this intersection. And eventually it like stopped and I just slid into someone's front lawn. It just like throwing grass everywhere. I'm like, all right, well, this is what we're doing today. Oh, Olga.
Everyone's looking at your vehicle like, yep.
Wow, what an asshole.
Opioid epidemic still going, it looks like.
Typical BMW owner.
No respect for traffic laws or traffic lawns.
Oh, Olga, you dirty bitch. Why you do this to me? So that happened. There was a point, another point where I was working on Olga. I had the keys out of my I had the keys in my pocket. I'm working on the engine. My hands are near the fan belt, and the car just started. To this day, I have no fucking clue what happened. I caused a short somewhere. And the car just started, and almost ripped my fingers off.
Came to life.
I'm like, okay, that's fine. Olga, what the fuck is your problem? Later in her life, when I had her, the battery wouldn't stop draining. I got a circuitry leak somewhere, or a short somewhere, so the battery wouldn't stop draining. So basically, if I left the car for more than 10 minutes, I had to go out, I had to open the hood and disconnect the battery. Mm-hmm. And then to start the car, I had to reconnect the battery and then close the hood.
Okay.
Oh my god, and I forgot that I had to give her a blowjob to get her started every morning.
What are you... Okay, I'm gonna have to hear this now.
Okay.
How? Why?
She was a manual transmission car.
Uh-huh.
I love driving manual transmission cars. She was an old manual transmission where everything was controlled through hydraulic lines.
Okay.
I had to replace the master cylinder because it was literally leaking hydraulic fluid all over my feet every time I would try to drive the car. I cleaned that. I replaced the carpet in there. I cleaned all the carpet up. It was fine. But there was something wrong with the slave cylinder, so the slave cylinder wouldn't stop leaking. So every morning, I would go outside, and the clutch wouldn't work. It basically would be stuck in gear because all the fluid had drained out.
Okay, I understand that part. So
what I had to do... Don't ask me how I figured this out, because I honestly don't remember.
Okay.
I took a bit of IV tubing.
Where'd you get IV tubing?
I had a medical bag in the back of my car. Because I had taken combat lifesaver course, and I actually know how to use most of that stuff.
Okay.
I took IV tubing that I had specifically cut, and I would run it down through the hydraulic fluid reservoir, down past all these tubes into the transmission, and I would suck all of the air in there out, thus filling up from the hydraulic fluid reservoir all of the hydraulic fluid that was in there. So every single morning I had to go out to my car and
start your car.
I had to go out there and run a piece of tubing down through it and go, oh, come on, baby, please don't be like this. I got oil in my mouth again. Ah, you bitch.
I can't imagine the air would be nice tasting.
Yeah, so that was fun. I loved that car.
You shared so many intimate moments with it.
I did. I shared many intimate moments with it. One of my friends in the military shit his pants in that car.
Oh, joy.
Yeah, while we were at Sonic getting food.
Is it the Sonic food that gave him that?
No, I don't think so. I think he just laughed and then accidentally shit his pants. I made him sit on a paper bag on the whole drive home. I had some very fond memories in that car. I kind of miss Olga. Somebody out there is probably still driving Olga, or at least I hope so. Even with all her problems.
She's killed 15 men.
She's killed 15 men at this point. Old Widowmaker Olga. Yeah, she was great.
You were the best she ever had. Now she won't accept anything less.
I was actually the second owner of that car. That car was made in '83. I was the second owner. I had the original sticker that was on it. I had the import sheet. I had all the paperwork that had previously been done on it. And as it turns out, the wiring harness on Olga had been replaced 4 times. So the electrical problems that Olga was giving me were not a new issue.
I see.
I miss Olga. She was a fun car.
Do you miss suck starting your car every day?
No, I don't fucking miss that.
Okay.
The reason, when you said it's like I've owned a car every 2 years, because after Olga, basically every car I bought after Olga, because I was fucking poor,
yeah,
I would buy a used car for like less than $2,000, and then it would last 2 years and die.
Yep.
So I had to buy another car for basically $2,000. And it's like, if I had just taken all those $2,000 I spent and just, like, if I had it all at once and put it towards a new car, I could have had just one car for that entire time.
You wouldn't have to keep on doing repair. You were always fixing up your car.
I was always fixing my cars. Always. The last car I owned, my Subaru Impreza, the anti-lock brakes didn't work because the previous owner had smacked into a deer with it.
Okay, the anti-lock brakes.
The anti-lock, so the brakes would just lock. If you press the brakes.
Okay, so my work vehicle didn't have working anti-lock brakes, which just meant you didn't have the new technological advanced features of an anti-lock brake system. You still had brakes.
Yeah, you still have brakes.
But you didn't?
Oh, no. I'm sorry. I still had brakes. You just didn't have the new technological features.
Okay,
Same
okay.
thing. The anti-lock brake module did not work because the previous owner had run into a deer and the deer had destroyed the anti-lock brake module as recompense for being hit by a car.
What a vengeful deer.
I know, right? It's horrible. Deer just going around breaking into people's cars at night, ripping out the ABS module, going, fuck you. It's a whole conspiracy.
Deer's cutting the cables in your car.
Deer just coming out, cutting the cables. As it turns out, not having ABS in a Subaru Impreza, or at least this specific year, because the one I had was a 2007. Not having ABS in that specific model isn't a huge deal. I'll explain why, because the Subaru Impreza ABS computer doesn't really know what to do with snow.
Okay.
Or ice. So it errs on the side of caution and doesn't apply enough brake. So, and I know this because I owned a Subaru Impreza before that, and I slid through 4 intersections with it. One of which I slid through. Oh my god, I gotta tell this story now.
Oh no, the car story.
I was driving home from the grocery store while I was in college. And I was taking a back way because I didn't want to take the main roads because the main roads were just a pain in the ass. And I like driving my Impreza. I like going around corners a little bit too quickly. I was a dumb college student. I was a dumb 23-year-old college student because I'd gotten out of the military at this point.
Yeah, we're not significantly smarter these days, but still.
No. Anyway, I was driving home and there was a stop sign coming up and I was like, all right, well, I have to, because I was driving safely, I will drive safely. I will stop. It's icy roads. Give myself plenty of distance, started slowing down, and the car's just like, brakes, LMAO, what are those? So even though I'm like full on the brake pedal at this point, because my car is not stopping, the anti-lock brakes are going, brake, no, stop braking, brake, stop braking, brake, stop braking. Oh, we're in someone's lawn.
Yeah.
Lovely.
Do you pump the brakes?
Well, you're not supposed to pump the brakes with ABS.
Right, but yours wasn't working. Did you know it was not working at the time?
This was my previous one, which had ABS.
Okay.
Sorry, I've owned 2 Imprezas, so that was a little confusing.
Okay.
This is my college Impreza, which had ABS, and the ABS would go like I was saying. So I ended up just sliding through the intersection, end up in this guy's lawn, like 12 feet into this dude's lawn, and it's a lot of snow. It's probably a good 1.5 feet, maybe 2 feet of snow.
You're keeping landscapers in business.
I know. I'm trying to get my car out. I can't get my car out. Several people drive by, and eventually this dude pulls up in a Jeep, and he's like, "Hey man, are you stuck?" I'm like, "Yeah, I am. Can you help do you think you could like pull me out?" Mm-hmm. He's like, "Yeah, I can totally pull you out. I gotta drive back down to my house. I'll get some rope and I'll come back and pull you out." And I was like, "Okie dokie."
Awesome.
So he leaves. He comes back like 5 minutes later, and he opens his car door and he's sitting there and he's just tying a knot in a car. And he's like, "Yeah," and he just hands me the rope and he's like, "Yeah, hook this up to my bumper and hook it up to your car." And don't get me wrong, I'm incredibly appreciative that he is helping me pull my car out. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, I'm like, "You can't hook it up to your own car?" And lazy. All right, fine. No, it's my fault. I'm the one in the wrong here. I'm the one in the wrong here. I shouldn't be mad that he's not hooking it up to his bumper.
Yeah.
It's fine. Mm-hmm. So he pulls me out, and I'm like, "Yeah, thank you for helping pull me out. I really appreciate that. I just couldn't get out of there." He's like, "Yeah, man, no problem." And I said, kind of jokingly, like, "Yeah, I didn't think that knot was gonna hold up, but man, that thing held really strong." He's like, "Oh yeah, I got real good at tying knots. I used to do tree trimming and stuff like that until I fell out of a tree and broke my spine, and now my legs don't work."
Oh, jeez.
And I was like, "Oh, that's why he didn't get out of the car." And that's when I realized he had like a hand throttle for his Jeep.
Oh.
I was like, okay. Oh man, now I really feel like a fucking asshole.
Can you imagine if you'd said something? "Hey, I appreciate you coming out to help me, but can you not be so damn lazy?"
Yeah, the only reason I had thought that is because I had to trudge through like 2 feet of snow to get to my car bumper and then dig my bumper out to hook it up. So it's just like, you can't hook yours up while I'm doing this, but all right, that's cool.
I'd still appreciate you going out of your way to help me. You don't have to do this.
Yeah. Anyway, I've owned my last Subaru. ABS didn't work. Mm-hmm. The other problem was the check engine light would just come on. I think because the catalytic converter was going bad.
That's usually what it is.
So the check engine light would come on, but on the 2007 Subaru Impreza, when the check engine light comes on, the cruise control light starts blinking to let you know that the check engine light is on.
Oh, jeez.
And when the cruise control light is blinking, you can't use cruise control anymore.
Oh, no. So you couldn't use cruise control because of a technical issue.
Because of that. And also, for some reason, I think one of the other things is when the gas level would shift around, that would trigger the check engine light to come on. So when I would get on the on-ramp leaving your house, the gas would like move to one side of the gas tank because I'm going around a circle. So centripetal force is pulling the gas to one side, right, which would then set the check engine light on.
So you said the cruise control light blinked at you. Did you have to endure it blinking at you while you're trying to drive, or did you tape over it or something?
I just endured it blinking at me, and then as soon as I would get out of my car, I actually kept a 10mm wrench in the glove box because the 10mm wrench was the exact size to undo the bolt on the battery terminal. So just take that off, leave it disconnected for 30 seconds, reconnect it, and tie it back down.
I'm pretty sure I remember you doing that every time.
I did that several times. I would come over here to record, and then I would get ready to leave, and I would walk out to my car, and Mike would be talking to me, and I'm just like, "Oh, yeah," I'm just talking to him, opening up the hood and undoing the battery and then reconnecting it. Yeah, I have owned many, many cars, but the main reason for that is because most of my cars were shit. Mm-hmm. I owned a Mazda Protege. This was when I had lost my job. I'd lost my job due to...
In Virginia?
I forget. Oh, this was after the pipeline survey job, so I didn't have a job for like 3 months.
Was this after you left the second time?
It might have been the first time. I can't remember.
All right.
I left that job twice.
Shouldn't have gone back the second time.
Shouldn't have gone back the second time, and yet I did. Anyway, I bought a Mazda Protege hatchback or station wagon for $300. It worked exactly as well as you would expect a $300 car to work.
So not very well.
Not very well. You would start the car, and it was like when you watch the World War II documentary footage of them starting like a Corvair, and it's just smoke belching everywhere. I would start the car, and smoke would start pouring in through the vents. I had to roll down all the windows to keep the smoke from like billowing into the car. The thing sounded like you were riding in a C-130 when you would fly. When you would drive it anywhere. There was a massive dent in the hood. The windshield was cracked. The bolts on the seat were so rusted through that I wasn't convinced if I got into an accident that the whole seat was going to disconnect.
That car must have lasted you a few months. Could have been more than a year.
It lasted me until I got my tax refund, and then I bought a Ford Escort, which also had its share of problems because some idiot had decided to put a sunroof in an aftermarket, so the whole inside of the car would leak when it rained.
Good grief.
Yeah, it would just pee all over me anytime I would go around a corner after it had been pouring rain, and it would just go and just dump water onto me.
Gross.
Yeah, that was great. The Ford Escort was kind of fun, though. It's kind of fun to have just a little, like an itty-bitty, basically a go-kart.
Oh, yeah.
Like a highway-capable go-kart.
Hey, you don't get to tell me I drove a Geo-Tracker.
I know, it's fun having a highway-capable go-kart with a little shit-kicker 4-cylinder. It's great!
Yeah.
I'm really hoping that I can just keep the current car. I'm really hoping I can keep Momo for like... Yes, I've named my Hyundai Kona Momo. Mm-hmm. It means peach in Japanese.
Does it now?
Because Momo is a peach to drive.
Oh, I thought you said peace, because Momo is a piece of shit.
No, it means peach. Peach. Because Momo is a peach to drive.
Okay. Some kind of fruit,
Yeah.
Peach, lemon, same thing.
Yeah, exactly. And now it's time to play America's favorite game. Zach reveals his Wikipedia search history.
Oh, no. Is that what we're going to do? We're going to go through our Wikipedia search history?
I'll go through mine.
All right, tell you what. I'll bring up my Wikipedia search history.
All
and
right.
We'll take turns.
Yeah, well, now we got it.
On my phone, I'm sure... Because I never close Wikipedia tabs, because I never specifically open Wikipedia.
Yeah.
I open things up in Google, and it opens a Wikipedia page, and I'm like, all right, close it out. So I've got 50 tabs open of Wikipedia. No, I'm sorry, 64.
Oh, jeez.
You want me to start from the most recent or the most ancient?
Start with the most recent.
Okay.
What did you have?
Tom and Jerry.
Tom and Jerry? I have Mule. The thing that's a...
Cross between a horse and a donkey.
Yeah.
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 Then I had FIFA for some reason. I'm not even a sports guy. I don't know why I looked up FIFA.
That's interesting. I had, well, it says Nature Val, but I was Nature Valley. Nature Valley granola bars.
Okay.
Yeah.
Were you hungry? I'm so hungry. I'm gonna Google granola bars on Wikipedia.
Yeah, I'm gonna Google that. No, I forget what it was.
Why are we saying Google it? I'm gonna Wikipedia that on Wikipedia.
I'm gonna Wikipedia that. I forget why it was. I think a streamer I was watching was telling his secret to eating the Nature Valley bars without them crumbling. Have you ever had a Nature Valley bar?
They're pretty dry, yes.
They're very dry and they're very crumbly. Do you want to know the secret strat to eating a Nature Valley bar?
Soak it in honey? I don't know.
No, you take the Nature Valley bar. You open like one corner of it. You open the wrapper so that no parts of the wrapper are touching each other anymore. So you basically just created a little tray. And then you just eat it over that little tray.
Oh, okay. Then you gotta have it two-handed. That defeats the entire purpose.
Or you eat it at a table.
Or you could just leave the majority of it in a sleeve and nibble on it.
The other thing you can do, which is kind of the madman strat, is you just break it up into little pieces inside the wrapper and then open it up and dump it into a bowl and put milk on it.
Just get Cliff Bars. Those things are sticky. They'll stick together.
They do stick together. I mean, Nature Valley's good, though. They're not expensive. All right, what's your next one?
List of world map changes. I'm a bit of a nerd, so I guess that makes sense. I like to look at like how the world map is always changing.
Yeah.
There was
how countries change
like
and their territory changes.
Yeah, like how South Sudan was birthed a few years ago, or how there's going to be a new country in a few years. Yeah.
My next one was Resident Evil Welcome to Raccoon City. Because I wanted to look up what the plot of the movie was.
Oh, that's a movie?
Yeah, okay. It's a new Resident Evil movie that just came out. Don't bother watching it. Just play Resident Evil 1 and then Resident Evil 2.
How many Resident Evil movies are there at this point?
There's a bunch. So there's
gotta be at least 8 now,
There's the Paul W.S. Anderson ones that have what's her name in it, but I can't remember. Alice. Well, I don't remember what the actress's name is. Those are all hot garbage. This new one just came out and they're being like, it's a love letter to Resident Evil fans. And I was like, oh yeah, I totally remember the part where Lisa Trevor 1v1's a liquor.
You know what? That sounds kind of fun.
People are saying that it's kind of fun, but I'm like, I refuse to have anything to do. Basically what they've done, Carlos from Resident Evil 3, they combined him with Leon.
Okay. Oh, so did they replace Carlos with Leon?
No. Leon just looks like Carlos from Resident Evil 3.
You sure it's just not an acting decision, like an acting choice?
No, he specifically looks like Carlos.
Weird, very weird.
Yeah, very strange. Claire and Chris Redfield were raised in the Raccoon City orphanage.
Oh, they don't have parents anymore.
Yeah, they don't have parents anymore. They were raised in the Raccoon City orphanage.
That was a brand new thing to me.
And Claire ran away from the Raccoon City orphanage because William Birkin was going to do experiments on her.
I think they're adding a lot more to the lore than they should be.
Also, Claire was at the Raccoon City orphanage with Lisa Trevor from Resident Evil 1.
Oh, because you were reading from the wiki, so you know all this stuff.
Yeah.
Now. Okay.
Yeah. Claire was with
Hold on. You didn't even give a spoiler warning for anyone who was going to go watch that movie.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Spoiler warning.
I'm going to go watch Raccoon City Resident Evil.
Nobody is going to watch. People are going to watch that movie.
But before I go watch this movie with my friends, let me just tune into this podcast.
Wesker is not a main bad guy anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Wesker is just an asshole.
Okay.
Yeah. So Wesker shoots William Birkin. Annette shoots Wesker. And then Wesker is going to shoot Sherry Birkin, but Jill shoots Wesker. And then Chris and Jill rescue Sherry Birkin, which is the plot of Resident Evil 2, not 1.
I feel like this movie is probably dumb, but I feel like there's a lot of movies that sound dumb if you don't watch them and if you just read off the Wikipedia page.
Yeah, there are, but I don't think this is one of them.
And then the sentient ocean put Moana back on the raft, and the giant Maui man said, "You're welcome." And then they had a musical number with a giant 30-foot purple snail.
You watched Moana?
I did.
Was it good?
It was.
Okay. Why don't you go on your next... What's your next article?
East Timor. Might be related to the previous search, so...
Okay. My next one is EKG, which is followed by EEG. Yep. Electrocardiogram and electro-something-gram.
Right. Why were you looking those up?
I forget specifically. Oh, I think it was because... Oh, I remember what it was now. I was reading the Russian sleep experiment creepypasta, which sucks. And I was trying to see if I could find an anachronism because I wasn't sure when the EKG and EEG were invented.
Oh, okay.
Because that story takes place it's supposed to take place in 1945, and I wanted to make sure that those didn't exist before that period.
There's an EKG machine. Anachronism. I declare anachronism.
I declare an anachronism. I was just trying to find more reasons to hate the Russian sleep experiment because it's a shit creepypasta.
You're looking for reasons to justify your hatred of a story.
Yeah, basically.
All right.
What's your next one?
I had a 2021 Nabisco strike, which is a strike that went recently at the Nabisco factories. It lasted a month, and then there was a resolution people could agree on. So
okay.
Yes.
Well, this probably should have just gone with Resident Evil Welcome to Raccoon City. My next one was Resident Evil Code Veronica.
Oh, you were looking up the best Resident Evil... Well, I can't say best because Resident Evil 5 exists, but Code Veronica's up there, all right.
Man, you have bad taste in Resident Evil games. Dude, I hate Resident Evil Code Veronica.
Do you?
I think the gameplay is fun. I'll give you one guess what I hate about Resident Evil Code Veronica. Take a wild guess.
You might not like the tertiary characters or... Maybe Steve?
Oh, wow, you nailed it. It's Steve Burnside. I fucking hate him.
That sexist, arrogant little piece of shit. But we quote him so much, you know?
Steve, you have to shoot him. I can't!
You say you hate it, but we quote that so often.
He's hatefully lovable.
You said lovable.
Yeah.
You said lovable to describe
You hate
Steve.
him. You hate him, but also you kind of love how much you hate him. Claire, I love you. And it's like, I'm glad you're dead. That's me at that point in the game. I'm just like, fucking die faster. Just like putting a pillow over Steve's face. Just die.
I really love that there's a part in the game where you take control of Steve. And Steve's like, don't worry. I got these Uzis. I'm going to shoot through all these enemies. And you're normally supposed to kill all the enemies in your path, but you could just run around them. And then when you get to the end, instead of the normal line he says, he turns around and goes, "Hey, Claire, I made it to the end, and I saved ammo for future use."
God damn it, Steve. See, I would say Resident Evil 2 is the best Resident Evil out of all of them.
It's pretty good.
But I respect your opinion that Resident Evil 5... Which one do you think is actually the best Resident Evil?
I think it would have to be the one I had the most fun playing, and that would, by default, have to be Resident Evil 5.
Okay, I 100% respect your opinion, because Resident Evil 5, for being completely honest, Resident Evil 5 is just Resident Evil 4, but co-op.
Exactly.
That's pretty much exactly what it is.
Yes.
Resident Evil 5 is not my favorite one.
I tried to go back recently without a co-op player. Now that I'm a single man...
It's hard!
Yeah, I went back, and this time without a girlfriend, I had to deal with the AI, and I can see why a lot of people weren't happy about that.
Yeah, I think we should play Resident Evil 5 at some point on the channel.
Of course.
We need to do that. What was your next one?
Louis C.K. Because I was looking up that comedian's history. I know it was a bit controversial for a bit because of some of the sexual allegations. But
I feel like everybody's controversial for one reason or another.
Well, there's some just reasons why people would be upset with Louis C.K.
Yeah, that is true.
Not the worst, but not the best.
Yeah. He's not exactly a shining example of humanity.
Right.
Yeah.
As much criticism as cancel culture gets, there are some people that need to be either temporarily or permanently canceled because they didn't do anything illegal.
But they just did a shitty person.
They did something immoral or unethical, and they need to get the fuck out.
Yep. My next one was Burger King.
Okay, why were you Wikipediaing Burger King?
Because I thought I had heard somebody say that Burger King was called that because it was a British company, but that's not true.
Looking up the history of the frickin' fast food restaurants.
Yeah, as it turns out, the heyday of Burger King was the 80s to 90s, I think. That was like the point where Burger King was like the top dog, and then now they've how the mighty have fallen.
How many more do you have left?
Oh, I've got quite a few.
Do you see how the number of how many you have?
No.
I'll just start listing up mine off, and you stop me if there's anything you think is particularly interesting.
Okay.
Amy Vilela, a politician.
Mm-hmm.
Cuba, a country comprising the island of Cuba.
Yeah.
The Catalan independence movement in Spain.
Ooh.
Yes?
Yeah.
A small section of, I don't know if I'd say small, a section of Spain that wants to be independent, and Spain does not quite like independence in that they kind of try to stop that, try to squash that.
Yeah.
ACAB, the anti-police acronym. I want to know the history of that, which might be related to the previous one, the Tulsa Race Massacre.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, I want to be informed about these things. Chile, a country in South America.
Mm-hmm.
Mercosur, a South American economic agreement.
Your Wikipedia search history is far better. I like how Mike's is like, I'm looking up Mercosur and the Catalan Rebellion, and here's my search history: Dead or Alive, the fighting game with the Japanese fighting game with the
boobas,
with the booba,
with the beach balls and the boobas.
Rumble Roses.
Actually, I think that's a spin-off. Like, it's supposed to be a legitimate fighting game, and then they just put their characters in bikinis. Yeah.
Rumble Roses.
Again, a fighting game with boobies.
Golden Earring, the band.
What do they sing?
They did the song Radar Love.
Oh, yeah. Radar Love.
The Cook Submachine Gun.
Okay, there's a gun there. No big deal.
Boardwalk Empire, a TV show.
Okay.
Master of Puppets by Metallica.
I feel like you're looking up a lot of cultural things.
The Richter Scale.
Oh, Richter Scale is a TV show, right?
No, I was looking up the Richter Scale.
The actual Richter Scale, okay.
Black Hawk Down. Gladiator. Dune.
Movies.
My Big Fat Greek Wedding.
More movies.
A goat.
A goat? You looked up a goat, not just goat, a goat.
Well, like goats.
Goat.
It just says goat.
Okay, goats.
Eugene Stoner. Mikhail Kalashnikov. Ghostbusters.
Ghostbusters.
The movie Blade. James Bond.
It's nothing but movies.
Why was I looking up John Walker?
John Walker, Texas Ranger?
I don't know. I don't even know what this one was in relation to. Search. John Walker.
Okay.
I was looking up John Walker Lind, the American Taliban guy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's what that one was.
And not the cowboy from Texas.
No. Squid. Mads Mikkelsen.
Who is?
He's a Danish actor.
Oh, okay.
He's a treasure.
Okay.
He's a wonderful, wonderful man. Mads Mikkelsen, there's a great image gallery of him being at like Hollywood premieres of things and typical Hollywood media trying to be like, who do you think is the sexiest woman in Hollywood? And he's like, my wife. We live in Hollywood, or we have a house here, so
it's gotta be her.
If you could steal a smooch from anybody, who would it be? My daughter. I love my daughter. He's just like a very nice man. It's great.
Lovely.
And he just plays he plays a bunch of like really terrifying. He played Hannibal Lecter in the TV show. He plays like the primary antagonist in Death Stranding. He played the primary antagonist in Casino Royale. He just plays like really scary people, but he's like a really nice guy, apparently.
Nice.
Bronze. Like the metal.
The metal bronze. Maybe you're looking up stuff from the Bronze Age.
Yeah. The Monty Hall problem.
What's that?
Have you not heard of the Monty Hall problem? I thought you would have heard of it.
Is that a logical thing? I may have heard of it.
It's a probability puzzle. Here is the premise of the Monty Hall problem.
Okay.
Suppose you're on a game show and you're given the choice of 3 doors.
Oh, yeah, I am familiar with this one.
Behind one door is a car. Behind the others is goats.
There's a goat behind each of those 2 doors.
Yeah, the other 2 doors have a goat, but one has a car.
Right. There's 3 doors. One has a goat. Second one has a goat. Third one has a car, but you don't know which one it is.
You don't know which one, yeah. You pick a door, say 1. And the host, who knows what's behind the doors, opens another door, which is number 3.
For example, yeah.
For example, which has a goat in it. He then says, do you want to pick number 2? Is it your advantage to switch your choice? Basically, what they've proven is that in terms of probability, it is always to your advantage to switch.
Mm-hmm. It is counterintuitive, but I am familiar with that logic, that probability thing, because when you choose one of 3 doors, you only have a 33% chance of getting it right. But when you're choosing from 2 doors, there is a 50% chance you get it right. So, yes, there's almost always going to be a better chance to find the car. Yeah. If that's what you're going for. If you want a goat, I mean, stick with what you got.
Yeah, I mean, I would probably take the goat.
Of course you would.
Yeah. There was I think a mathematician whose name was Voss Savant, and she wrote an article saying, yeah, you want to switch. Mm-hmm. Like, if you switch, it is you get the highest probability of getting the right one.
Yes.
And she wrote that in an article, and she received thousands of letters of people who were like, you're an idiot. You are stupid. And a bunch of them were people with PhDs being like, you're stupid. You should have stayed with it.
People have very strong opinions, and the stupider they are, the stronger their opinion. Continuing going through mine, the Forum for Progress and Development of South America, that's related to the previous one.
Yeah.
Civil Rights Act of 1991. Mm-hmm. Omnibus Budget Reconciliation Act of 1990. I don't know what that is, but I looked it up apparently. Iraq-Iran War.
Man, like he's looking up things that like a college student or like a college professor would be looking up on Wikipedia.
The history of America is interesting, and not even America, the world.
The world.
Puerto Rico, the unincorporated territory of the United States.
I always forget that Puerto Rico is an unincorporated.
Right.
It basically is a state, but it isn't.
Yeah, the discussion for statehood is always coming up. Narcissus from mythology, the hunter in Greek mythology.
Ooh.
Something called the Wheel of Time. Oh, it's a concept from Indian origin of Hinduism and Sikhism. Again, I don't know what prompted me to look it up, but I did. Okay, here we go. Some cultural things now. BoJack Horseman, animated sitcom. Venture Brothers. En passant, a special move in chess. I don't know why I looked it up. I know what en passant is.
What is en passant? How do you do that?
It's difficult to describe, but it's when you move your pawn diagonally, but you're not actually capturing something diagonally, which is normally not a move you're allowed to make.
Oh, you're allowed to do that on their first move, aren't you?
If it's the first, if you've never touched that pawn before, if you've never moved it, you can capture something without moving down. It's a very complex little thing. It's like the one lone complex rule in chess. Jar Jar Binks.
Okay.
I don't know why it's there. Valkyria Revolution. Apparently there's a spin-off game to Valkyria Chronicles. I have no idea what this is, honestly. Lord Buckethead, the satirical political candidate.
I think I've heard of him.
Yeah, he's a UK... Yeah, it's a UK politician or a couple politicians.
Oh, he's like the UK's version of Vermin Supreme?
I think so, yes.
Okay. Vermin Supreme always wears a boot on his head.
Oh, okay.
He's from Vermont, and I think it's Vermont, and he always wears a boot on his head.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ranked choice voting in the United States. I think that's pretty cool.
Is ranked choice voting the one where you vote for, this is my first pick, this is my second pick, this is my third pick?
Yeah, you're ranking your choices.
I wish we did that in the United States.
Yep, it'd be nice. So, I'm actually following a couple people or a couple organizations that are working, grassroots efforts to do that. And every once in a while I see, hey, this city approved this for their mayoral elections. And I'm like, yeah, good on you. Good on you, that city.
Yay!
So, yeah, all it needs is a bit more widespread acceptance.
Yeah.
Travertine, which is a form of limestone deposited by mineral springs.
Ooh.
Again, do not remember looking that up. None of this was committed to memory, but apparently that's a thing. Albinism, the congenital disorder causing a lack of melanin pigment. Mm-hmm. Louis Arce, the Bolivian Minister of Economy and Finance. Why?
Why were you looking him up?
Oh, hold on. Related to 2020 Bolivian general election.
Oh, okay.
Mu, M-U. Man, it's a complex thing, but the most common thing I've used it for is to deny the question. Like if somebody asks you, hey, have you stopped beating your wife yet? Yes or no? Like, you can't answer yes to that. It's like, yeah.
'Cause then you were.
Then you're basically admitting to beating your wife.
Yeah, so you say moo.
So you say mew, and then they go, why are you a cow? So,
Okay. The declining literacy of America.
yes.
What are some other ones I've looked up? Spanish flu.
Oh, yes, there you go. The history of the Spanish flu. I'm sure it's
Yes.
very interesting.
It is very interesting. Apparently, they had a problem with people not wearing masks during the Spanish flu as well.
I don't believe that.
Yeah.
Who would do such a thing?
They had a lot of problems with people that wouldn't get vaccinated and wouldn't wear masks.
Well, it was still a very new thing at the time. I'm sure very scary for people that are unfamiliar with it.
Yeah, but, you know.
And I'm sure it contributed to massive outbreaks. The Spanish flu did not, it was not a one and done thing.
No, it wasn't. The FAL rifle.
Okay, yep.
The
The Fabrique Nationale FAL, yep.
Yeah. Exomosis?
Wait, is it the F? No, it's the FNFNC.
No, that one's the FNFNC is like the Fabrique Nationale Carbine. It doesn't matter.
The
It doesn't matter.
FNFAL isn't an actual gun, is it? Did I just make
Yes,
that up?
it is.
Okay,
The FAL is an actual gun.
Okay.
Ectomosis, which apparently is a bruise.
Oh, okay.
Flan.
Flan,
Yes.
as in the pastry. Flan.
Yeah, as in the pastry. The Dead Kennedys.
Holiday in Cambodia. Good
Yep.
song.
Alien, Prometheus.
Alien and Prometheus. Oh, you're looking at movie titles.
Yeah, the movie Alien, the movie Prometheus.
That reminds me of the show Alien and Prometheus and Bob. Ever heard of that?
Yes, I do remember that show. It was a very good one. That was on the not What a Cartoon Show.
Yeah, it was the same cartoon show.
Kablam! It was a cartoon show Kablam. Yeah.
With Action League now.
Where one of them was Melty.
Melty.
He was just
with
a
the power
G.I.
to melt.
Just a melted G.I. Joe. A King Tiger tank and then an M1 Abrams because I was doing a size comparison for which one is bigger.
But is that back when you were doing models of those? You were making little miniatures of
No, I
them?
was just looking it up.
Okay.
Let's see. Adam Driver.
A person, okay.
Yeah, actor. A Bob White.
Couple actors, comedians,
No, Bob White is a quail. It's a type of quail.
No, Bob White's a comedian.
Well, apparently it's also a type of quail.
Okay.
Because that's what I was looking up. Because the next one is the California quail,
Okay.
followed by the Canadian goose.
Couple
Then
birds.
followed by the pigeon, and then California quail again.
Couple birds, couple guns, couple movies. Yeah, that's about what I expect.
Yeah, so it's a lot of titanium.
A very useful metal.
Yeah.
None of these are terribly surprising. If you told me these are all in your search history, I'd say, yep.
The movie
it's-
Drag Me to Hell.
Okay, yep.
The anime series Steam Detective, Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, Resident Evil 8, Anthrax, Gulf War, Peter Falk, VX Gas. That's a weird list.
What a combination. Putting all those together.
Littoral combat ship.
Littoral?
Littoral combat ship. Basically a coastal combat. It's a ship that's designed to be anywhere from like right up on the coast to like 10 miles out.
Okay.
You're not supposed to go very far from the coast with it.
Mm-hmm.
It's a coastal defense ship.
All right.
Pararescue, MG08, M2, just a
Tanks, guns, yep.
Guns, Okapi.
Okapi. What's that again? I forget.
It's like a horse-looking thing, but it's actually more closely related to a giraffe because it
Oh.
has ossicones.
Okay.
Ossicones are the little antler things
The
that
little
giraffes
horn
have.
things, okay.
Yeah. They're not actually horns, they're ossicones.
They're horns.
I don't know what the difference is.
There's a difference, but I mean, it's basically crocodile alligator difference at this point.
Now I'm gonna look it up because I don't know what the difference
If
is.
you asked me if a giraffe had horns, I'd say, yeah, giraffe's got horns.
Okapi. No, let's go to Giraffidae.
Tell me about the genus Giraffidae. Is it a genus or is it an order?
The Giraffidae are a family
Oh.
of ruminant artiodactyl mammals that share a common ancestor with cervids and bovids.
Ruminant means they eat grass and leaves.
And then they ruminate on it.
Ah, and the rumen, which is a stomach gizzard kind of thing.
Yeah, kind of. They regurgitate it and then chew on it some more and then swallow it again.
Which has to suck if you're a giraffe.
Yeah.
The food travels 18 miles before it gets to your anus.
It comprises only two extant genera, the giraffe and the okapi, the only known species of Okapia. Let's see. Ossicones. Ossicones are columnar or conical skin-covered bone structures on the heads of giraffes, male okapi, and some of their extinct relatives. They are distinguished from the superficially similar structures of horns and antlers by their unique development and a permanent covering of skin or fur.
Ah, so basically they're just horns with skin on them.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay, so they're horns. They're horns of skin. Skinny horns.
Kind of.
Yeah. I got a few more things. I'm down on my last 20.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
I don't know. Are you all, is that the end of your list?
Oh, dude, no, oh no, that list keeps going.
All right.
If I actually read all of it, we're gonna be here forever.
All right. So the oldest ones that I have, I've got my last 20 here. Meal, ready to eat. A meal supplied to the U.S. military.
Mm-hmm.
Maze solving algorithms.
Ooh.
That became the actual video that we made.
It did.
The Aral Sea, the lake lying between Kazakhstan and Uzbekistan. Which is basically dried up. It's like 90% gone.
Oh, yeah, I think I remember reading about that. Isn't it like slowly coming back now?
One of the countries, I believe Uzbekistan, is trying to do restoration efforts. Kazakhstan, maybe not so much.
Yeah, well, if I recall correctly, Kazakhstan has a lot of problems. Is the Aral Sea the same thing as the Black Sea? No, it isn't.
No, it's
is it?
different. It's different.
Well, the Aral Sea is one of those things that, like, as of 20 years ago, like, you could swim in it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you could take boats across it. But
Yeah.
now it's just gone.
Yeah, it's basically been overfished and like pollution and oversalted. It's ridiculous.
Hopefully they can like bring it back somewhat.
Well, if they can't, then that whole area is gonna, it's just gonna be ecological damage.
Yeah,
put that on the list of things we've done.
That's things like that are why I say the human race is not going to last another 50 years.
What do you think? We'll see. VG Cats, the web comic.
Oh, I remember that. Isn't it still going on, but like very intermittently?
I don't think it's going on anymore. If it is, it's like one comic a year.
Yeah.
Sikhism, the religion founded by Guru Nanak. Archer TV series.
Mm-hmm.
Teen Titans TV series.
Why are you looking that up?
I don't know. I never was a big fan of Teen Titans, but I
didn't really like it very much.
Must have looked it up. Thylacine, an extinct species of carnivorous marsupial from Australia.
Aren't they kind of like saber-toothed tigers?
I don't know if I'd say saber-tooth.
Not.
Let's see. Oh yeah, Thylacine. It's like a little wolf kind of thing.
Oh, okay. So it's kind of like the
Tasmanian tiger redirects here.
The Tasmanian tiger. Yeah, that one that people keep saying they've spotted it, but they can't actually prove it.
The last known live animal was captured in 1930. It is commonly known as the Tasmanian tiger because of its striped lower back.
There's a movie starring Willem Dafoe, I think. But yeah, it's very good. It's about William Dafoe plays a mercenary who is brought to Tasmania to track down a thylacine, a supposedly extinct animal whose genetic code holds the secret to a dangerous weapon. Actually, I really liked it. I thought it was a very good movie, but if you don't like drama films, you probably won't like it.
All right.
I thought it was really good. Moving on.
Do you think I would like it?
Maybe. You don't really like dramas, though.
No, I'm very picky.
So you probably it's quite slow.
Oh yeah.
It's a slow burn movie, so you wouldn't like it very much.
I'd have to have it on in the background while I'm actually doing something with my hands.
Yeah, maybe.
All right, to wrap up my list, I guess. Safety. Guess what specifically I'm searching for here?
The safety on a firearm?
Nope. I don't remember looking this up, but apparently this is a safety.
Home safety?
A scoring play in gridiron football.
What?
I don't know.
All right.
Hanzo from Overwatch.
Oh, okay.
I don't know why specifically him. JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
Yes.
National Indigenous Peoples Day in Canada. The impeachment of Andrew Johnson.
Oh yeah, one of the only other presidents to be impeached.
Dennis Leary, the American actor and comedian. And Tangled, the movie by Disney. Before we wrap things up, I'll mention this. A while ago, there was a documentary on the character of Apu from The Simpsons.
Okay.
So the person who made this documentary didn't like Apu, wasn't happy with Apu being the only depiction of Indian Americans on television for so long, thought he was kind of racist, thought he was a caricature, didn't like that he was voiced by a white guy, a couple different things, couple issues he took with that guy.
Okay.
And so the creators decided that, all right, well, you make some valid points. On The Simpsons, you've got white guys voicing both black characters, and basically everyone is voiced by white guys, because it was created 30 years ago.
Yeah, it was created 30 years ago, and you get voice actors and you have them do voices.
They also recast other characters in the show. They didn't just remove them. They didn't write them out. They are properly revoiced.
Okay.
The one that crossed my eyes was Dr. Hibbert, which is not even a main character or a secondary character. You know who Dr. Hibbert is?
Yeah, he's the one. He's got the super deep voice and
you got that distinct laugh.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's the black doctor on The Simpsons.
Yeah.
If you need a joke doctor, you have Dr. Nick. Hi, everybody! He's comically bad at his job, that doctor.
Yeah, but if you need an actual doctor, it's Dr. Hibbert.
If you need a serious doctor to play the straight man, you get Dr. Hibbert.
Yeah, the one joke I remember with Dr. Hibbert is, whoa, this is too much of a mystery for me. I can't figure it out. Can you? And he points, like, at the camera, but then it reveals that the person he's pointing at is the Chief Wiggum, and Chief Wiggum's just like, oh, geez, you're gonna make me do my job? Just like really, I don't know why I sounded like Peter Griffin, but yeah.
A scene that I always remember is where Bart gets a toucan beak, like a plastic toucan beak, stuck into his face.
Okay.
And he can't get it loose. So the doctor says, don't worry, we'll solve it with a series of painful injections. And he's got these giant syringes making this terrifying noises.
Yeah.
And Bart's like, ah! And then the thing falls off his face.
Because he started sweating. Yeah.
Like, oh, it fell off my face. Yes, I just made you sweat a little bit and it came right off. He's like, couldn't you just turn up the heat a little? No, it had to be terror sweat. There are so many distinct
There were so many good bits, yeah.
So somebody mentioned offhandedly that he had a new voice actor, so I looked it up. And honestly, I feel like they should have just retired that character too. Because no disrespect to the voice actor that replaced him. He does a fair job. It's an appropriate voice. But it's not the same voice.
Yeah, it's just not the same.
So much of Dr. Hibbert is that voice with the distinct laugh.
When you have a series that has gone on for even half as long as The Simpsons has gone on for, hell, when you have a series that's gone on for 5 years and they change the voice actor for a character, or they even change that actor, it's jarring.
It's pain. It actually ruins some things. Like going back, I can list off a few things. A lot of them animes, actually. Like, in Ranma, like the voice actor, the main protagonist changed a voice actor 5 seasons in. That was jarring.
It's incredibly jarring.
One of the main love interests in Tenchi Muyo was recast with I can't not hear the South Park character that she voices when she's speaking as this anime character now.
Who does she voice in South Park?
It's a very generic kind of South Park female adult voice.
Well, because for the longest time they had, up until the South Park movie, I realize I'm getting off topic here. Mm-hmm. Up until the South Park movie, the woman that voiced Stan's mom voiced the large majority of women on South Park.
Yeah.
But she was also the voice of, I think, Snow White in any Disney movies.
It might be the same voice actor. I don't know.
Well, she died, unfortunately.
Oh, that's probably not there then.
But yeah, she died after the South Park movie. She died, and they have someone else doing Stan's mom.
Okay. Well, it's the one, whoever is doing, I don't even know if it's Stan's mom. Whoever is doing this voice of the South Park character, that's the voice I hear coming out of the mouth now. So I can't actually watch that anymore.
I'm sorry, what character is it?
Her name is Ryoko, the main female protagonist.
Oh, they changed Ryoko's voice actress?
Yeah.
Like when? Oh, well, the show came out a long time ago.
Well, see, the show came out a long time ago, and then just recently, like within the last decade or so, they came out with an additional third part of it.
But they changed the voice actress.
But I guess they couldn't get back the same voice actress. The one's different, and I can't not hear the South Park voice now.
Huh.
So I can't actually watch it.
That's infuriating.
As much as I love Tenchi, I couldn't actually watch it. The one that's the worst for me, actually, is Lupin the Third. Because the TV show got a voice actor, and then all the movies got sent to all these different studios.
Yep.
And they all recast at all the characters.
David Hayter played the English version of Lupin in Castle of Cagliostro.
Oh, Solid Snake was Lupin the Third.
Yeah, but he's uncredited. I guess recently he said that it was actually him, but he was not uncredited. He had a pseudonym.
Yes, an alias.
Because apparently it was a different animation studio, and he technically he shouldn't have been able to do it.
Could have been a writer's strike. I don't know.
I forget specifically what it was, but there's one scene in the Lupin the Third, in the Castle of Cagliostro movie, in the English dub, where Fujiko is like taking pictures of something super sneaky, and this clawed hand goes onto her back, and it says, he goes,
kept you waiting.
He goes, freeze, and it sounds exactly like like Solid Snake when he does it. It's great. It's absolutely great. I didn't believe that it was David Hayter until I saw that one scene, and it was just like, oh shit, it is David Hayter. It's Snake. It's Solid Snake.
But I can't actually enjoy that because the only voice that sounds appropriate to me is the one that was on at Adult Swim late nights. Any other voice doesn't fit him, in my opinion.
For me, watching Dragon Ball Z, I can't watch Dragon Ball Z in Japanese. That is one of the few. Dragon Ball Z and Cowboy Bebop are the two anime that I cannot watch in Japanese, because for me, Cowboy Bebop Spike Spiegel will always be Stephen Bloom.
Yes.
So I can't when it's not Stephen Bloom, it gives me cognitive dissonance.
It doesn't feel right.
It doesn't feel right. When I watch Dragon Ball Z, the female voice actor for Goku, because it's a female voice actor for Goku in Japanese.
Oh, okay.
I can't stand it.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I just can't stand her voice. It sounds so wrong.
Mm-hmm.
It does not sound like Goku is supposed to sound.
Okay.
In my brain.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, either of those two are two other things that it's the same thing. I can't watch the Japanese version of those because those are the voice actors that I'm using. I don't know who Goku's voice actor is in English.
I don't know either. No.
I'm sorry, but he does such a good job for me that it is impossible for me to watch Dragon Ball Z in Japanese.
Mm-hmm. I'm sorry. I can't actually. I've never been a big Dragon Ball Z fan, but the only voice that sounds appropriate to me is the one done by Team 4-Star.
Oh my god. Honestly, the guy that does Vegeta in Team 4-Star is amazing. Mm-hmm. He does such a good job.
Yeah. I think it's Lana Pator, I think it might be his, yeah.
Because I've watched so much of, like, Team 4-Star Dragon Ball Abridged, now when I watch the actual Dragon Ball, I'm like, why does Vegeta sound weird?
Oh, no.
It kind of throws me off a little bit. I'm like, why does Vegeta sound weird? The guy that does Goku does a really good job, too, but it's like, I can kind of... Those are interchangeable.
You can tell it's more of a joke parody kind of thing.
Yeah, I can tell it's more of a joke thing, but yeah, the guy that does Vegeta does such a good job. He's so good. Have you heard the story of... I'm sure you've heard it before, but the guy that did Goku, how he passed out while they were recording?
Did they make him scream for a long time?
No, it wasn't actually that. He did a thing talking about it. It was because...
Hold on. Okay, Goku. All right, here we go. 14th Kamehameha scream. Go.
Passes out. No, it was because he basically didn't inhale enough right before he did a yell. So it's like, I'm trying to think about how to describe this. He was mentally preparing to do a different yell. It's kind of like when you are thinking of two different things.
Okay.
And then you accidentally try to say both of them at the same time. So like if I was thinking of a yogurt and a flan at the same time, and then I said, yeah, can I have some more yan?
Can I have some flogurt?
Some flogurt? Yeah, it's like when you do that. But basically, when you do voice acting, I shouldn't say this because I'm not actually a voice actor, even though I want to be.
Uh-huh.
When you do voice acting, you are basically playing an instrument. You're using your voice as an instrument. So you have to get it set up to do different things.
Right.
And he went to do a different yell than the one he was actually thinking about doing. So basically he didn't like breathe enough to do it. So he was like, oh! Just like passed out in the middle of the yell. It's really watching him talk about it is very interesting.
That's probably not related to the previous subject, but still a funny story.
It's still a funny story. Yeah, when they change voice actors, it can be very jarring to the point that like you don't want to watch it.
Yeah. So much of a character is their voice.
It's kind of like, an example for me is, wow, why can I not remember his name? Hang on just a second.
The Honey Notes Cheerios bee has to be voiced by Billy West, or it's not the Honey Nut Cheerios bee.
Same thing for the red M&M. An example for me is like Anthony Hopkins playing Hannibal Lecter. It's really hard. There's actually a movie. So Anthony Hopkins played Hannibal Lecter in Silence of the Lambs, Red Dragon, and then like a couple other movies which aren't great. Mm-hmm. But there's actually one that's called Manhunter. It's very similar to Red Dragon. It's actually partially what the Silence of the Lambs was based on. But Brian Cox plays Hannibal Lecter, and it's really weird seeing Brian Cox playing Hannibal Lecter. To me, anyway. Mm. And then to the point of that one of the movies that came after Red Dragon, in Silence of the Lambs, Clarice Starling was played by Jodie Foster. And then in the 2001 film Hannibal, Clarice Starling was played by Julianne Moore. And it's like that casting switch is very jarring to me, to the point that my brain just goes, oh yeah, Hannibal isn't even a movie. Yeah. It's like, because it's so jarring, even though Hannibal Lecter is still played by
the same guy,
the same actor, my brain just doesn't know what to do with this because it's Julianne Moore playing. So I get what you mean about when they change voice actors.
Right.
It's incredibly jarring. And I'm trying to think about what other...
I don't even watch Simpsons very often. I watch maybe one or two episodes when a friend says, hey, let's watch our annual celebration of the Halloween episode. I'll go, all right, they're always awful, but we'll watch them together. It'll be fun.
Sometimes they're good.
And sometimes he's like, hey, there was a pretty good episode, had a couple pretty funny jokes. I'm going to show it to you. I'm like, all right, I'll watch it with you. Sounds fun. But
you have friends besides me?
I do, yes.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
That was mean. That was mean.
But I saw that clip, and my immediate reaction was a visceral no! Like, I screamed out loud. That's not his voice.
Oh, man.
It was bad. I really wish they had just written that character off and brought in a different Black Doctor, because it's not the same.
Well, it's because you grew up with that show. It would be like if I grew up watching... I did. I grew up watching Mr. Rogers, but then suddenly a different man is playing Mr. Rogers.
Yeah.
And it would, like... What the hell is happening? And I'm trying to think of other examples of like where they've switched voice actors, but I guess I can't really think of anything.
Off the top of your head, most companies are good enough not to do that to you if they can help it.
So I got Resident Evil 3, the Resident Evil 3 remake, was on super sale on Steam, so I picked it up.
Okay.
Because from what I had heard, from basically everything I had heard about it...
Pardon me, are we still on the voice actor discussion, or have we...
We are still on the voice actor discussion.
Okay.
We are still... I'll get to that in
I thought maybe
second.
we were doing this segue. Okay, let's continue, please.
Anyway, I found out when I started playing Resident Evil 2, I was like, why do I recognize Carlos's voice like so much?
Resident Evil 3?
The Resident Evil 3 remake.
Yeah.
Or as I like to call it, the Resident Evil 3 make. I was playing it. Why do I recognize Carlos's voice? Why is this so familiar? He played Chris in Resident Evil Village.
You gotta be kidding me.
The voice actor for Carlos played Chris in Resident Evil Village. That they specifically picked him because they were like, oh yeah, he actually did a really good job voicing Carlos. Mm-hmm. And because Carlos is only in that one game.
I think Resker might have been the only one that stuck around. Everyone else has been voiced by a couple different people.
Yeah, they've all. I don't think
not
Leon
been very
has
consistent.
Leon has not had the same voice actor in any game. It's always been a different voice actor.
Yeah, it's frustrating.
I mean, but yeah, do you want Leon from Resident Evil 4? Do you want that voice actor doing Leon in the Resident Evil remake?
I don't know, maybe.
I don't think so. You want him to be a rookie. He's got to be a rookie.
You think voice actors can't voice as if they're inexperienced?
Oh, that's true.
It might be difficult to voice a younger version of themselves, but they could definitely put on the stammer and pretend to be a rookie.
Yeah, that's true. I love the inside joke that Leon can't drive a vehicle without it crashing.
Yeah.
To the point that I think it's in 6, you find a vehicle that's like slammed into a wall, and when you're playing as Ada, you find a vehicle like slammed into a wall, and Ada's first thought is, oh yeah, Leon did this.
Yeah.
It's like one of the only good things about 6 is that Leon is a simp for Ada, and Ada just immediately recognizes Leon's handiwork.
We could go on an entire podcast episode about Resident Evil. We didn't do an entire thing about that.
We should do that. I'm writing that down for our next podcast, is that we'll just talk about Resident Evil, because I fucking love Resident Evil.
Sure.
It's probably one of my favorite franchises.
I like 5, I like 6, I like Code Veronica, and the rest can all screw.
You don't like 2?
I have a little bit of nostalgia for 2, and I think the most recent re-release is good, so I guess I'll say 2 can come along for the party as well. Okay, so 2, 4, 5.
Well, save it for the next podcast. We're talking about Resident Evil next podcast.
All right, sure.
Next podcast is Resident Evil. Mark my words. I'm going to put a fucking star on that one.
I was thinking about maybe have this podcast to be like the first half we talking about real life stuff or whatever we want to talk about, and then the last half is like video games. But it turns out this entire thing was just no video games.
No video games. Who knows? So yeah, maybe the next podcast will be video games.
I say no video games. We brought up like Resident Evil and everything.
We brought up a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
The podcast is whatever we want to talk about. That's what the podcast is.
It's not even a slice of life. It's just stream of consciousness.
Yeah, it's just, and you know what? That's fun. I like that. That's what I want to listen to.